All right, what this video lacks in production value, I'll make up for with the contents of what you're going to learn and what I'm going to say. So be sure to subscribe down below for just no BS real videos. And in fact, let me just show you my sales really quick. A lot of people out there selling courses and whatnot. So just show you I actually do this. I mean, I don't know if it's going to focus the damn thing, but there we go. And this really works. It's a made in the USA product, one product. Launching my second product right now. Just sent in 1,200 units of that today. Got photography booked for 3 days from now. Today I wanted to go over probably the only thing that matters, and that's going to be how to actually say yes to a product. This is if I could give one video for free to people and it's my gift to you. I'm dying tomorrow. Here's how I would make money on Amazon. This would be it. Let's establish some common rules of where we're looking at this from already. So you're not private labeling, meaning you've actually improved the product in some way. We're just going to establish you have the best product in the market. We're going to start there. You've differentiated and you understand that your product is the best, not because you say it is, but because you understand what the customer actually needs, wants, desires based on the market landscape and your customer avatar, and you have that. We're starting there, okay? The next thing that we need to think through now is, can we make money? And so again, that's the most important thing to me. Profit is what I care about. Those sales are great and all, and I'll let you know right now, it's 25% net margin. So boom, into the bank account, spendable cash is 25% after ads, after fees, after everything. Hope to just maintain that. If I can maintain that and just keep adding more and more products and that doubling, tripling, quadrupling the revenue over the course of next year, great. Making money is as simple as profitable on every sale. And my baseline for that is 40% margins. And so I have a 41.6% margins, gross margins on my product. Meaning if someone just came to my listing that I just showed you the sales from, lands on the listing, just one product, there's not even size, there's no variations, anything, just boom, $34.99. I would make 41% of that sale, 41.6% of that sale. If I had to pay to get that, and then you'll see where this is going, in PPC to get that sale, that's going to shift. And now in the last 30 days, I have an 11.6% total advertising cost of sale, or tacos, as some of you may know that. Meaning, take all of the sales that I made, and I had to pay 11% of all of those sales to make those sales. So what that means is that you just take, it's nice and easy, take 11% off of the profit. So if there was 41%, we're now left with 30%. And then we have additional things like storage fees. I'm spending money on new shipments going in, and there's shipment fees and little things that are going to pile up here and there, and some returns here and there. And we're left with 25%. Now, calculating that beforehand can seem intimidating to a lot of people. But I'm going to show you that it's really easy. And in fact, if you can calculate how much money you can make, that's the skill that I would give you if I was dying tomorrow, is knowing if you're going to make money or not. Because a lot of people get into this and maybe they have great KPIs, good conversion rate, good click-through rate, but they got the money part wrong. Doesn't work. So check it out. We're going to go to Profitability Calculator by Helium 10. As always, there's a link in the description for my affiliate link for a discount on this. If you are going to buy it anyway, I appreciate if you use my link. I get a small commission from the sale, and I love using their software. So here's how this works. This is going to be 20% of the price. That's how they're calculating this, right? And so that they're just throwing a COGS in there, cost of goods sold, of $654, and assuming that you're going to pay $400 per cubic meter to ship. I usually just get rid of that, and I just start working with this number. I just call it $7 to source this thing. And here's how this is going to work. So right now, if I just made a sale, it costs me $7 for my packaging, what's inside the packaging, my per rate units to label, every cost associated with getting sellable product in stock divided by the total number of sellable products in stock, right, on a big shipment. And so if this was true, 44% margin, we're golden. And in fact, we can play with this. Go to 8. Okay, so now we're at about my margins. So 41.3%. 8.5. Okay, so here we bust through 40. And now the problem with that is it looks great right now, but you don't make all your sales organically. If you made them all organically, great. You'd probably end up with 30% margins after, miscellaneous fees. But that's not going to happen. So you shave again another 10, 11%, by the way, great tacos. Shave another 15, 18% off of that, and you're hurting, right? It's starting to not become super profitable. Cash flow is going to start getting tied up. Everything gets harder. And so at this stage, that's my cutoff. I can't source this product for more than $8.4. That's it. That's my hard stop, right? So I'm starting there. If you have already started a project, if you are, looking at your own numbers and you're at 35%, it's not the end of the world. It just gets progressively harder as you have less and less margin to work with off the top on an organic sale. Now, how do we calculate the ad spend going forward? This is going to be a really big one. You're going to scale the product I just showed you. We've generated in the last 12 months roughly $500,000 in sales, and 10 grand of that was off of Amazon. 10 grand versus $500,000. So it shows you the efficiency of selling on Amazon. And that was a decent effort on social media. We spent 2 grand on Instagram ads, and we have a website with an email list, and 10 grand versus $500,000. So wise words of advice there is just start selling on Amazon if you're selling a physical product and there's existing search volume for it, and just get in front of people who are already ready to buy, because they're going to convert so much better than external traffic is going to. And now here's how you start predicting some of this. So let's just take a random example. By the way, I just went onto my Amazon homepage and clicked this. There's nothing special about this. This will work for any product. So we're going to go to tubeless tire sealant. Sure, that's fine. The first thing that we need to see is we're going to go to X-ray keywords. Now note here, if you have the highest plan on Helium 10 or the second to highest plan at Diamond or Platinum, you're going to be able to just see PPC bids right here. If you have the just Platinum plan, Diamond, I forget which one's lower, but the $180 a month one versus the like $180 a month one or $160 a month one or whatever, you won't see this. This will be blocked off. If that's the case when you go to do this, no sweat. Something weird in my mouth. Okay, we're all good now. And we're gonna go X-ray, which you will have access to, and then I'll show you a little trick you can do to still get access to that information. This is really important, and it's stuff that I don't hear a lot of people talking about. Even me, for years, I didn't really talk about this too much, but it's such an important part of the process. So go here. You start to see what's so important over time, right? We're gonna just hit run Cerebro on like 3-4 of the bestsellers. Bestsellers, by the way, are just like, they sell a lot and they have a relevant product. So you hit run Cerebro after checking them. What that's gonna do is show us the big list of all the keywords, and that keyword list in Cerebro will contain the PPC information, cost per click bids, and that information's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's not dead on. I've looked at Amazon many times, what I pay, what it really is saying here. It's a little slow, but it's serves as a really good average. If this is saying low numbers, that's what we're looking for. And so let's talk about that for a second. There's an important metric, not really metric, but something you should know, right? And so really quick, let's just go grab like a relevant one, like a tubeless sealant or a tubeless tire seal. I'm looking at the high search volume here. And what we can actually do is go to number of competitors. At least 2 out of the 3 rank in the top 20. That'll be our most relevant keywords. So we got 39 here. And then we're just going to sort those by search volume. And so bike tire sealant is maybe the one that we're paying attention to. Let's go over some metrics really quick. So 39% total click share. What that means are out of the top 3 listings, those are clicked on roughly 40% of the time. Out of the top 3 listings, 23% of the time, or 23 out of 100 people, will buy one of those listings. And so we're looking at conversion rates there. Search volume, Make sense? And then PPC bid, this is the big one, right? So this number here, we'll just use this. And if you're playing around with it, you can use the lower one or use the higher one, but we'll take the suggested PPC bid of 89 cents. We'll come back to our profitability calculator. Actually, one last stop. We're gonna go, and this is caveat here. If you already have a Seller Central account, you can do this. If you don't have a Seller Central account, you can pay attention to this. It's roughly a third of this number is going to be kind of your market average conversion rates, roughly. Not a great way to do it, but roughly. Okay, and if you wanted to, you can cross compare maybe a handful of these, come up with a good average, divide by 3 or so. Rough. If not, we can come over to Opportunity Explorer. We can take a look at this. This is in Seller Central. So you go into Seller Central, I think you go to Growth, and then Opportunity Product Explorer on your sidebar. If you have a professional seller account, you have access to this. And I just typed in the search term tubeless tire sealant. And I could go to bike tire sealant, the one we were just looking at, and I could see that that market, the demand is 8.32%. So now we're starting to get a little bit of a formula here, right? And if we go to tubeless tire sealant, 8%, these numbers that are higher are all what? They're all brand names. So higher buyer intent. When we see higher conversion rate, obviously, because there's a brand name, they already know what they're looking for. They're not really, and even here, muck off, again, 14%, they're not coming to a good decision. Now, here's a interesting caveat, and I'll give it to you now. This says 8.32 conversion rate in the last year, market wide. So 8% of the time a sale is made when someone searches bike tire sealant. My listing, like I said early, you're assuming you already know you have a great product that's unique, has a unique selling point. There's some form of barrier to entry. There's nothing like you. If they want your product, they have to buy it from you. And this goes into brand building. Next thing would be your creative. You have to have a great listing. Give you some context. I'm spending $2,000 on my photography for this next product alone. Now, is that a little bit like I'm really leaning into, creative and how good I want the listing to look? Yeah, you don't have to pay that much. You do it just as good for 900 or 1,000. Well, technically not just as good. As you get much better as you get into the 1,000 plus photography range. We're buying props. We have a model hired. All these things, right? But let's just call it 1,000 in case you're like losing your mind right now and you're just going, oh, forget it. I'm going to click off because I don't have that kind of money. And it's like, yeah, I launched my first product with this way with less than 10 grand. Now, that's still a lot of money, but I'm just saying as a business investment, you're not going and taking out loans to start a restaurant or anything. It's achievable for just about everyone. So we have a 17% conversion rate. Let me get straight to the point. My market says about the same, 8%. I forget the decimal point is, but about 8%. And put things into context, that goes to show you as we go to this next step, which I hope you're sticking around for, is the most important part of this video, but you need some of the stepping stones to get to it. Keep that in mind as we go to this next step. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back to our old friend, the profitability calculator. As we know, if we can't make profit, there's no sense in being here. We now know that the market has a 8.5, because I know what I know about the power of great creative and a great unique product. Let's just call it 10%, 8.5%. I know with a better unique selling point, improvement in the terms of value, and a much better looking listing. I use the term better, but it's not even really the right term. Completely unique, unlike anything there is. You'll convert better than that average that we just saw. Let's call it 10. It might even be higher. So what does that mean? That means that let's break it down really simple and actually slow down. At a 10% conversion rate, how many clicks do you need to make a sale? Because we know we have to pay this per click to get up and running. 10, right? 1 every 10 buys. So you have to pay this 10 times. Fair enough, right? That math works. We all in agreement? Comment down below if you disagree. So other costs, we can just go to dollars and we could take this number and multiply it by 10. 89 cents. $8.90. So if that was the case, we already increased this, by the way, it's like 7. We're still left with roughly a 25% margin at a 10% conversion rate. Now let's say that it really did cost us $8, $8.50 to source the goods. Okay, we're down to a 20% after making a sale, but hang on. This is after making a sale with PPC, not organically. So if I make a sale with PPC and I still make 20% of that total sale, I'll just spend money until my ads don't work anymore because I'm going to make back a 57% ROI and 20% of that sale every time. And I'm going to gain rank, which will rank me higher organically. So I'll keep making more and more organic sales. I was in my mastermind, total name drop there. I do have a mastermind. It's not a course. By the way, my course is free. So if you want to learn more about this, you use the first link in the description. It's free. You can donate money if you feel the need to, but it is a lot of what I'm talking about right now, leading up to how to find this. A lot of the key things you need to know is free. The community on Patreon. You can go access the course videos there, and comment. Communicate with me on Patreon. There's a little chat and everything. My level above that, I only have one thing that I do, and it's face-to-face with people. It's a mastermind. Like this, we talk every single week, and then there's individual calls also. But we were looking at my specific numbers, and people in my mastermind actually know my product. How do we come up with a formula in a blueprint so that you can just copy and paste what I did? And we started to realize that even in my launch month, we go back 18 months, roughly. 50% of my sales were organic already. And so if you were making your PPC sales at a 20% margin, but then your half of your sales were organic at a 42% margin, well, now you've just boosted right back up to 25 or 30% margin. You see how that works? Now check this out. This dollar amount is malleable. If you understand your KPIs and what they mean, you have control of the steering wheel. So now all of a sudden, hang on, what if instead of, there's 2 levers you have here, click-through rate and conversion rate. What if instead of a 10% conversion rate, we converted at 12 or 13%, 14%, 15%? Well, now I only need 7 clicks to make a sale. So instead of 89 cents times 10, we do 89 cents times 7. Okay? Rough math. Well, all of a sudden you went from 19% to 26%, 27%. And that's the PPC sale, right? The PPC sale, not the organic sale. So you start seeing that that's profitable. If I could give you the trick here, it's to create a little slider scale with how you're going to convert against market average. And let's just put a hard stop on market average right around 6, 7, 8%. If you come in here and these numbers are 2, 3, 4%, you should probably get out of that market or not go into it and just say no. It's a hard stop. Because if that's the case, best case scenario, you double that, you're at your 8% mark. If I double 8 or 10%, I'm converting 16 to 20% of people. The math is much more favorable. And as far as the PPC bid goes, there's a pretty good rule of thumb. About 2.5 to 5% of the price of your product. You start seeing 10, 15% of the price of your product for PPC bids. Let's call that $2 bid. The math goes out the window, and you could fall prey to this. Let's use the same 10% conversion rate, but let's say that the bid was $1.60 instead of 89 cents. Doesn't sound like a lot, right? $1.47 is right there. We could even just use that. But how many clicks do we need to make a sale? 10. What does it cost to make a click? $1.47. That's $14.70 to make a sale with PPC. You're losing money on every sale you make with PPC at a 10% conversion rate, which is already 2% higher than the market average. You see where I'm going with this? This is all you need to know to make this work. you can go take my free course to learn the other stuff, the books you should be reading, the software you should be using, how the process works, how to set up your business, how the taxes work, how to do the product research, what we're looking for, customer avatar building, you name it. But at the end of the day, if you can't make money selling the product because you need to spend money on PPC to scale the product, and best case scenario, you're doing 50, 70% of your sales organically, if that math isn't mathing, that's not your market. So that's my video for today. Thank you so much for checking this one out. Be sure to like and subscribe down below. Please help me out here. I don't have a lot of time. I run my business full time, just adopted a dog. I got a lot going on, and I've spent a lot of my time working with my mastermind students. So if you can help me get this video out to more people, just so we can get higher quality of content stuff, the things we're actually talking about, out to more people, I'd really appreciate that. But anyway, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in my next video. Later.